Hi writers, I'm Lauren Sapala, and today I'm talking about writers who really want to be writers but have a lot of problems actually writing. Now, this might be you if you aren't writing as much as you would like to, you feel a lot of anxiety and dread around writing. Maybe you look forward to writing, but then when you actually sit down to write, you feel really worked up about it. It can't be a relaxed process. It can't be peaceful for you. It feels really uncomfortable and it feels paralyzing. Like you just can't do it. You can't force yourself to do it. You can't make yourself do it. I'm opening a new live class this March and it's called Healing the Writer Within. And it's for exactly this type of writer, the writer who has a lot of problems just sitting down to write. And maybe it's very confused and lost on why they're having all of these problems actually writing. So if this is you, first of all, you're not alone. So many writers want to write, really want to write from deep inside. They feel it's a calling, but they can't write. They plan, they make lists, they make outlines. A lot of these types of writers buy a lot of writing guides. They try a lot of different methods. They think about it all the time. This is constantly on their mind. And they try schedules. They try to write every day. They try to keep themselves accountable. I hear that a lot from people who come to me in this state. Like, I need accountability. I need someone to keep me disciplined. I need to whip myself a little bit harder. The thing is, none of this stuff works. Nothing works. The maps, the outlines, the plans, the schedules, it doesn't work. It always ends up making the writer feel even worse than before. And what happens is this contributes to the procrastination. This contributes to the dread and the anxiety that the writer was already feeling. So when they do sit down again with the new plan in mind, or I'm going to write every day, or this is the way it has to happen, they totally freeze. They freeze, they get overwhelmed, and they feel paralyzed, and then they can't do any writing at all. So maybe they were just doing like a little itty bitty amount of writing before. Now they can do nothing. The thing is, this is not about a lack of preparation. This is not about a lack of talent or skill or time management. And I want to emphasize that because every writer I talk to in this state always blames themselves. This comes with a huge amount of guilt and shame. Like, I'm not doing it the right way. I'm not a good writer. I need more self-discipline. I'm scattered. I'm spacey. I'm flaky. I can't do it. It's not about any of these things. It's not about being lazy. It's not about being a bad writer or an undisciplined person. It's about unresolved trauma. That's what's really blocking the writer, and that's the blind spot. That is like the big, hairy monster in the room that the writer cannot see, is this unresolved trauma. The unresolved trauma around writing and self-expression, it causes writer's block, and it causes writer's block to manifest in the form of self-sabotage every single time. This is deep. This is pervasive. This is extremely frustrating for writers to deal with. Usually writers have been dealing with this for a long time, months, even years, sometimes even their entire life. So you cannot get over this alone. This isn't something that anyone can tackle all by themselves. First of all, because it's a blind spot. It's a big creative blind spot, and it's nearly impossible for us to see on our own. And it is impossible for us to untangle all of the layers of it on our own. You need emotional support as you go through the process, and you need community. You need people around you who are also going through the same thing, first of all, so you don't feel alone, and also so you can get insight on what is actually happening inside of you as you're trying to detangle all of this unresolved trauma and how it's affecting your writing, how it's affecting you moving forward with your creativity. So in my new class, we're going to be diving deep into all of this stuff. We're going to be diving deep to find healing, because until we heal that writer within, we're not going to be able to ever actually write. That's the cold, hard truth of it. We have to heal in order to move forward. It's kind of like that you have to feel to heal, you know? You have to heal to write. It really is connected in that way, and if we don't do this deep inner work, we're just going to remain blocked, maybe for the rest of our lives. In my next video, I'm going to talk about what's actually happening when you self-sabotage, what's actually happening during the writing process when your brain comes in and self-sabotages you. So if this is you, if you're seeing this video, stay tuned for the next one, because you'll get some really good insight into what's happening in your body, what's happening in your nervous system, and how that is connecting with your brain and sending messages to your brain and taking you down. And I want to talk about why you can't use your brain to solve this problem, especially if you're an intuitive person. Intuitive people, we work primarily from our intuition and from our heart. And you have to move into the heart space to do this kind of healing work. This can't just be a mental thing. This can't just be an intellectual process where you rationally understand the problem and you rationally understand that it's hurting you. This has to be a heart-centered approach for it to work. So send me questions. If you're interested in a new class, send me questions about the class, send me questions about any of this. Be sure to subscribe to my channel to get more content like this. I talk about writing, I talk about intuition, I talk about writing for intuitive people. I talk about empath stuff, I talk about creativity. So if this class is calling to you, or this subject is calling to you, this topic, you feel a resonance as you're watching this, be sure you subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on everything that comes out. And also, please subscribe to my newsletter. That's where I make all the announcements about all of my classes, all of my courses, all of the events, and I have a lot going on, including this one coming up in March, Healing the Writer Within. So be sure you subscribe to my newsletter. You can find the links below if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're already on my newsletter and you're watching this from there, please stay tuned for the next video in this series. I'm really excited about this class. A lot of folks have come to me in the past few months with this exact problem. So I think this is going to be beneficial to a lot of people. And I think this is going to really open up some stuff for a lot of people. Until then, I will see you next time.